All right. Let's see which one of these is you got. Okay. AI thing. There we go. So can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Yep.
Hello?
Basketball. So they get on your nerves, you can part over
Can
here.
you hear me?
I hear you, Steve.
Anybody? Somebody?
Yeah, we hear you.
Anybody there? Dre, I can't hear you. Hello.
Yep.
We hear you can hear me, but I can't hear you guys. Okay. All right, hold on. Okay. All right, let me figure it out. Audio's on. Maybe it's got to be turned up. Let me see if I just got to turn it up a little. Which is odd. We here. Let's get out of there. Okay, y'all. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the board is out. I can't hear anybody. It's weird because I've got you on multiples.
You got the
Let me try something else here.
got the speaker on?
Let's see if the sound. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Turn it off over here. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I got you. It's just not going through the speaker. I don't know why these speakers going out every week, man. It's something with the leads or something. You know, I've been leaving it on. Been on for some months, and I don't. You know how we usually turn them off?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe it caught a lightning strike, but it ain't been no lightning storm, so I don't know. It could have been electrical spike or something. But the speakers I really can't hear. But you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Everybody. All right, cool. We're gonna roll with the mini speaker. You know, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to engage with, because everybody else is engaging, as you know. And the engagement policies are very unclear, other than get her done. That's what it seems like. So what's been going on with you, Dre?
I'm in the middle of trying to I want to get my basement done. I'm making it into a practical use site for the trades, HVAC, plumbing, and electric. So I'm creating a proposal right now. So I could start going to get them workforce development dollars that can be for it. So I actually got a bunch of events that I'm gonna be doing right outside in the front and catching all those passersby and having them do surveys so I could, bolster my proposal with some data that suggests that people are interested in those type of trades, HVAC, plumbing, and electric. So
they should be, because they're paying the most money these days. They pay
Yeah,
way
but
more than trucking and all of this other stuff, you know.
yeah, buddy. But we gonna find out though, so we gonna see how people feel about it. Huh?
They want to feel about living a decent life with a decent wage. Shoot, ain't nothing to think about. Only problem is people get discouraged because they think, you know, the education you have to have is tremendous, and it really isn't. You just kind of work your way through it, you know.
Right.
The most difficult one would probably be electrical. I think HVAC is probably the least. You know, education you probably would need next to plumbing. But all three of those, you know, trades there. I don't care what anybody says. AI will never take those away.
Oh no, they ain't messing with them. Mm-mm.
So they can get an AI plumber to come in and say, "Oh, my toilet's clogged, or my pipe's not running." You know, which it can give you the information, but it won't do it for you. That's just not going to happen. Now, AI for trucking is already there. You know, they've already have autonomous driven trucks. Somebody asked that the other day. They were like, "Oh,
they do.
Trucking people, because that you know, that AI won't take that over." I'm like, "No, you're wrong. They're already doing it.
Yeah.
They're running trucks unmanned. I mean, they're not going long distances, but they're running short distances. And short distance could be 1,000 miles, you know. And they're doing it. So
they definitely already doing that.
Yeah. So what else going on out there in the world? You hearing anything? Seeing anything? Know anything?
Nah. I'm wondering, you know what's interesting? I keep hearing a lot of people that are opposed to LaShawn's Congress run here. I'm not hearing, like, you know, people are super excited about him being in Congress. So that's interesting.
Man, look, it is what it is. You know, they should have. Now, look, you just said, I'm going to do a survey. Where am I going to get it from? The traffic going down Madison. The simplest thing in the world. Now, if you know that, why they don't know that? Could have done it easier. What do they call it?
They don't want to do no work, man. Some people don't want to do no work.
Hey, they're going to learn. They will learn. That's all I can tell you. And I hate to say it. Shame on him, man. Shame on him. You know.
Okay.
You know,
I keep hearing grumbling about LaShawn, but nobody can ever tell me nothing. What's wrong with him?
I'll say this. The person that I talked to, she's a bit young, well, slightly older than me. And she was just saying, like, she just doesn't feel his campaign. She's like, I don't like the people that's like leading it and all of that type of stuff, you know. So she that's what she told me. Like, I ain't too excited about how they're going about, you know, promoting this run and all of that. That's what I was told.
And I've heard
that's menial. I thought it was something that he did wrong, or something that he said wrong, or something. Your feelings don't mean nothing. It's exactly what has he done.
a lot of things go back to things that happened in the past. People bring up, you know, and that's a lot of it. People still have it fresh in their minds, you know, and
Well,
they don't want.
I know my daughter used to work for him when he had the real estate company, you know, and
Remember Teresa, right?
yeah.
When you ask Teresa about what happened, she said,
Teresa Manning, is that who you talked about?
Yeah, you seen her lately?
No, she in Nebraska, Omaha, or somewhere.
Yeah, she'll tell you.
I hear from her every now and then.
Just bring it up. Ask her. She got a few valid situations that she encountered.
Okay, I'll ask her about it. Because I'm waiting to hear something really negative, and, you know, people just can't, they won't pinpoint it.
But
Tell me.
one guy I ran into about couple weeks ago. He said he said he rolling with Danny. Now, he didn't say he rolling with LaShawn. He said he's rolling with Danny. Because I know Danny since he was selling soap and pantyhose back in the day. And,
Uh-huh.
Stop bringing our milkshakes to the yard. Just
okay, I get it. You loyal to whatever. And I said, but what if that guy Danny ain't gonna be there? What he want? He says to me that, well, you know, idea,
my best friend. How could I ever bunch him?
you know, it's a transfer of power deal, you know.
Oh, you breaking up. I didn't hear that.
They said it's the whole idea that Danny's going to transfer a power deal, where he's going to transfer his power to LaShawn, and then he's going to run it, you know.
Don't do it.
I'm like,
Oh, so what?
You're related.
What you saying is that Danny gonna really be the one putting ideas into LaShawn head on the side.
or he's still running it while LaShawn in there. That's the way the
Okay.
guy put it. But I was like, it makes no sense because everybody wants Danny to go and retire. They want him to go and have, you know, the rest of his life fruitful. But he's in there doing, you know, what he's been doing or not been doing or whatever people want to call it. You know, that just makes no sense to me. If you've been talking about new leadership for years, we need new people, we need young people, all this other stuff. Now you get a chance to pick somebody. Now you want them to still have an arm up the person's back. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I mean, that should be determined. That should have been determined. You know, if this person is the kind of person you want, if this person that's more Danny-esque, or you know, or less, you know, but I think it's gonna be a hard task for him. I do, I really do, and the way they're doing the camp. Look, somebody said to me this summer, they said, Steve, I was asking some people why you never run for office. I said I did, and I said, you know, and I've told her the whole story how it went down, and I was telling her about how Danny, he decided to go with Teleferro to endorse, you know. And I'm like, hey, you know, that's what it is. And then, you know, some 8 years later, he was like, oh, I'm done with this guy. This guy doesn't, how do you put it? He hasn't had a political conversation with me in 8 years. He never thanked me for the money I gave him, and blah, 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 this and that. So I was like, wow. And I said, yeah, he endorsed something. And the person this is a very close ally of Danny. She said, Steve, it's probably good you didn't get an endorsement for him. Because a lot of people Danny endorsed, they don't go nowhere anyway. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's a pretty astute observation to say that. And she was kind of right. I was like, wow. I had to start doing the math. I'm like, yeah, this one, yeah, that one, yeah, this, that, yeah. And then I thought about it. The only reason Chris made it through, it wasn't just because of Danny's endorsement. There was another, 8-10 people that got together to make sure Chris got through from when he ran against Deborah Graham. So again, I think that was a lot of truth to what that person said to me. You probably don't want Danny to endorse you because you probably will lose. I said, wow, never looked at it that way. But back to LaShawn, since you guys started it up, it's very interesting to me. Oh shoot, dang, Drake, I forgot to go live. I'm talking all this time. All right, there we go. Now we're going live, and my doggone thing ain't working, but my sound, but that's okay. You know, now that you guys brought it up, I'm very interested to know what's your thoughts on, what are everybody's thoughts on this congressional, because I think Richard Borkin started he started a podcast today, and you know, he started to do some moving around, doing some things. So And I know quite a few people that are talking about behind him.
Well, I don't know too much about Boykin, but I do remember maybe 5 years ago or something, he was running for some political thing downtown.
It might have
And
been
I had heard some negative stuff about him, but I can't remember what it was. But I know it was negative, and I knew I wasn't going to vote for him from what they told me.
yeah, everybody said it. I'll tell you what it was. Everybody kind of, they went around saying he's very arrogant. And I kept wondering how could that be? Because I had been around him for some years. I had seen how he worked in out there with people. And I'm like, I don't see it unless it was something that one thing. And I'm like, maybe it's just the way he comes off. You know, people take it the wrong way or took it the wrong way. But that was the thing that I had resonated. But
Able to show my face at SoulCycle again.
Cause I,
I know it wasn't a real deal
Cause I don't know too much about him. I know he's been in the political arena for a while, but I just never followed him or know too much. What his agenda is or what he think. I never.
we're gonna get him on. We're gonna get him on the show so he can do that once these petitions get passed through. And,
So this guy's a protege of Danny Davis.
he actually worked with Congressman Davis as his chief of staff in D.C. for some years, and they didn't really fall apart, but there was some other things that went down.
Well, if he's a protege of Danny Davis and Danny Davis took a liking to him, I think nobody should question Danny Davis, and they should just fall in line and just vote for the guy and get him in. If you can vote for Brandon Johnson to come in, then I don't see anything wrong for LaShawn Ford, and he's a direct protege. Like he's a direct protege.
What are you talking about?
Are you serious? Are you serious saying that?
What?
Vote for Walter.
Yeah, vote for him. Why y'all hating on the black man? Why he can't get in office? Like,
Is
Danny
this
Davis
coming from our white boy?
Yeah.
Oh, white guy.
Yep. Hey,
Oh.
I'm
White
just
guy.
saying, he's a protege. Danny
That don't
Davis.
mean nothing.
Yes, it do. He done.
No,
He
it
had.
don't.
He had done a lot, and all of the wisdom and the knowledge that Danny Davis gave upon him. If you respect Danny Davis' legacy, you would vote for that man. If you don't respect him, then you're not gonna vote for him. There's only two ways about it.
But that don't mean he's a good person.
You know what? You 100% right. It doesn't mean it, but it's a highly likely chance that he is because he's associated with Danny Davis, Congressman Danny Davis.
So is Richard Boykin.
Who was that?
Richard Boykin, but I think LaShawn Ford is younger. I think he's younger, and we need younger black men actually doing this. We got to change this.
I can agree with that youngness. I can agree, but that ain't why.
For example, so who's older, you or Dre?
We the same age basically, but I was born in '86, May 31st, so I got a couple of months. So I am the oldest brother by birthright.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, Dre was old, and
So
you were
vote for Walter the Great.
Yeah, hold on, Walter. And you were about 5 years. 5 years. Let's see, 3 to 5 years. And somebody said, well, Dre's older, but you know what? He's a lot more intelligent. He got a lot more paper. He got a lot more, knowledge, in the field and on paper. Which person would you go with? Then they say, you just, how'd you put it? Like he said, LaShawn?
Oh,
He's
okay. Well, I mean, listen. Well, listen. I like variables. So if the variables add up, if this guy is older but he has more wisdom, and we can point out some of the things that he's done, and he spent a lot of time with Danny Davis, I think he should deserve a fair shot too. But a lot of times is with us younger guys, a lot of the older guys don't want to vote for the younger guys. This is always the case. It's like, saying older
well,
guys do not want to vote for younger black guys because y'all know we will change the dynamics of the whole neighborhood.
well, only thing I'm saying is that Richard has well, he's an attorney first and foremost. He's actually worked on Capitol Hill with Congressman for over, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. I don't know. That's a good long time. And I think he has the mental capacity and savviness to work in DC.
What's his position right now?
Right now, he's just an attorney. He was a commissioner.
Okay, so what about LaShawn Ford? What's his position?
He's a state rep for the General Assembly.
Okay, so one's a politician, one's an attorney. I'm going to go for the politician.
No.
Yeah.
The other one.
But he didn't do nothing.
Who, LaShawn Ford?
Yes.
He didn't do anything? Okay, well, see, now, I mean, y'all educating me. I don't know.
But
But if he has
hold
done
on,
things,
boss. I do think LaShawn been
come on, tell it, Dre. Come on, tell it.
He's made some impactful legislation.
Amen.
He definitely has.
I'll give him that. I give him everything.
Okay,
sure.
like what? Could y'all give me an example?
Well, one, I can only speak to what I know of, which is the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force as a convener. He put that task force together, and now you got a lot of people, especially black people, that were suffering from opioids that are now able to get at least that Narcan. So I could say that, you know what I'm saying? That's something that has been impactful. But I also know that he's, giving money to the West Side Health Authority and the work that they do. And I know even
And
you
West Side
yourself.
Health Authority helped me. So
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm voting
I
for
know
LaShawn Ford.
Even you yourself, the West Side Health Authority, he's giving them
but
guys
those
money.
spots,
Now, what has this attorney Boykins done? What has he done for my people?
He's been a staunch advocate and
Advocate.
well, I want to say more than
I'm an advocate too.
I'll say this. Boykin is the type. Okay, this is what you're gonna get, right? Now with Boykin, you're gonna get somebody who will push back, right? The reason that he was the commissioner before Brandon Johnson, and the reason that he lost his position is because when they wanted to pass the pop tax, he was not willing to roll with it. And it was something else that also he was unwilling to roll with. So I will say he's the type of person, at least, democratically speaking, that would be like, nah, I'm not comfortable with that. I want to push back on that. But again, it's a party. So the party gonna gang up on you and get you up out of there. So, how much does that actually mean?
Right. I mean, you have to go with the party though. That's the whole point of it. It's called politics. You have to know how to play people a little bit. And if you going in just trying to go against the grain, you ain't bigger than a program.
Yeah, but
that's why they got him. That's why they got him on up out of there. He ain't bigger than the program. He thought he was.
That gives you a sense of, that the person has the mindset of following what the people want. Because I asked him when all that went down. And I said, man, why you just didn't kiss the ring? He's like, Steve, I went with what the people wanted. And that's what I'm going to stick
with. But it turned out bad for him. Yeah, we could platform and yeah, you won out on the sword, but because you've done that, you've done nothing. And that's why LaShawn Ford is more than likely to win because, you want to go for the people. Go for the people when you get in office. Wait You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to show out.
No, he
You
was
know what
in
I'm
there
saying? And
already. He was in office.
I was in office. That's
He
the
was in
whole
office.
I'm talking about like wait till he get in good. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Yeah,
tweaked
I can
himself
say
out
that
of.
though. I
You
can say
can't be
that.
too
Yeah, I can
honest
say
when
that.
you a
Yeah, I can
politician.
say
What is
that.
he
You're
gonna
not
bring to
supposed
the
to.
table?
You are not supposed to see. Y'all don't know nothing about the 48 laws of power, and y'all don't know about the rule of two. You feel me? You can't show your ambition too much to other people, and he did that, and that's why he failed at his position.
So
well,
what is he gonna bring to the table, LaShawn Ford or Boykin?
Well, let's say you ain't have a job, hypothetically speaking, and you went to the West Side Health Authority, which is a community center where you can hop on a computer. They give you a code. They don't charge you at all. All they want is your ID and
but
your information, and you to sign up, and that helps people.
but
Boykins ain't got none of that.
again, I don't think that kind of help will ever end with people for our community, no matter who's in there. You know.
Right, but if LaShawn Ford donated money to that, you know what I'm
Well,
saying,
now, I mean,
then yes.
other,
He did it. You can't take that away from him. He did that.
yeah, but LaShawn was right next door to me. He didn't give me a dime.
You wasn't acting right, Steve.
Well,
If you don't act right, you ain't getting nothing. You wasn't acting right. You were shaking hands with people he told you not to shake hands with.
Yeah, yep, Steve.
Yep.
Oh man,
And
crazy.
LaShawn saw that. He said, "Nope, I can't get Steve no money."
Oh shit.
You can't give you no money, Steve.
Yeah, I guess that must be it. But I tell you this much: how come he circled back to Danny when Danny wasn't nowhere near him? People have come to me and said, "Steve, why did he go with this guy? Why?" Well, I say, I have no idea. That's
Steve. Oh, you should have been the congressman running.
no. People literally
Now I would have voted for you, Steve. Now I would have voted for you.
The crazy part about that, people said that to me, but that's never been in my wheelhouse to even think. I mean, Dre been around Danny just almost as long as, well, I've been around him twice as long. Dre's been around 10 years off. But I'm like, he would have been the one, if anything, because he kept asking. DeAndre asked, I've been around him plenty of times. He said, Congressman, when you going to stop, grooming? When you going to stop making your move? Let me know, because he asked us and asked. And I would be in the room just looking like, yeah, that's a good question, Dan. And it was, like I said, for me, but wow, I've had 10 people say to me, Steve, he could have picked you. He knew you. He knew your history. I'm like, but I've never said anything to him about me aspiring to be a congressman. But then, again, we talk about people like Drake that had said this to the man, I probably want to say 20 times.
Definitely asked him a number of times. That's for real. That's for
And
real.
And I was like, wow. But but I'm just saying, what you see is not what you see. It's not what it really is.
You knew him that long and then nothing?
Pardon?
You knew him that long and then he didn't approach you guys?
I'm not gonna, no, not like he did with West Side Health Authority and well, let's just say them, right? 3 months straight, yeah.
Yeah, West Side Health. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. If I got a tenth of what they got, I would be like, man, we could do a lot in our corner of the community.
Yep.
But
But who runs that thing?
Jackie Reed. No, Morris Reed now. Jackie did. Her son has taken it over. But
They're making money.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. They're making money, but what's the trickle down? Okay, Mosaic said he learned some on computers. I guess that's the trickle down. When you look at the dollars that's being administered to them, you would think that it would be a lot more impactful, would have been a lot more impactful. Because I'm gonna tell you, what I've done just with me and Dre and a few others over the last 10, 15 years, you'd be like, man, how did we do all this? And there's only been 2, 3, 4 of us. And these people got 40, 50 people.
Man.
And get paid. So then you go, what could the impact really have been? And it would probably be more impactful because it would come directly from the people. See, that's again, you say trying to support people that vote versus trying to support the people that are in a clique.
Right.
That
Yeah.
that can
Yeah.
send you down a wrong slope, man, real quick.
Yeah.
Especially in these days of politics, man, the people ain't going with that like that no more. They're really not. They're like, they're looking at each other saying, "Hey, what you see? You see this? And they're saying, we're not going with that. We're going
Yeah,
with
there's always going to be cliques.
yeah,
Yeah.
but talking about cliques that run the way you're supposed to be not voted for. What's the word I want to say? Legally. What's the word? The jurisdiction of how you live is based on the few people that have nothing to do with you. They control that. And then at a point, you got to wake up and say, man, do I want to keep being controlled because of the few that make sure that people get voted in?
Look at Danny Davis. He has to hire how many people in his office?
I don't know what you say, Joe. It's at least, 10 people in there on the
You know
day?
what's interesting? I was just looking at something that talked about the number of staff members that they allotted. I think if I remember correctly, it said that each congressperson is allotted like 20. They got a budget for at least 20 people. So
they're gonna keep all 20 on the payroll.
So I do think, in some respect, he may not have all 20, maybe like 15, but
you might be wrong there because you don't know who he has in DC.
In DC, that's what I'm saying. So
right,
we see at least a good 12,
12,
right? At least 12 here. So
he's gonna keep them all. If LaShawn Ford gets in, he's gonna say, "Hey, keep all my guys on the payroll."
I don't know if that would be the case. I don't know about that one. But real quick, Mr. Glover want to touch base on something. Go ahead, Mr. Glover. You want to bring up a situation? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
Okay, hold on. Let me get you close enough to make sure everybody can. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, who's Mr. Glover?
Donald Glover. He's a block club leader over on North Avenue. What's your street? I used
to be president of the Amherst Park Regulatory Council. You know when the migrants tried to take Amherst Park? Well, that was you saw on TV several times, and all the other people to keep the migrants out of our park.
Yeah, I was up there with y'all too. I had my pitchfork and axe. We used to, if it had to go down, it's gonna go down.
I was there also.
Hold on, let him finish.
Nothing. But anyway, what I want to do is give somebody some real good news. We got a Black museum at 6914 West North Avenue. It opened up yesterday.
I just saw that.
And you guys, if you get a chance, just go in there. I don't know the hours, but here's the phone number: 773-999-7171. 773-999-7171. Once you go inside, it speaks for itself. It's professional.
What is it?
You got to see it. It's not just thrown together. It's got a theater. It's got one room that's got two water fountains. One's in colored only, one's in white only. The white water fountain, and they're made in that period.
That's the one for Walter. Walter, when you go in that room, you can only use that one.
What is this place? What is a history museum or what is this?
It's an African American History Museum. It's on North Avenue. They just opened it up.
So I gotta use the whites only one?
Yeah, man. Hey, you gotta feel how we felt, brother.
And when you go in, all past and present people of any significance in the struggle, their pictures are like indented in the wall. It's like a hologram. It lights up when you pass it.
I ain't gonna lie, this sounds good, but do we have the folks that achieved? I know we were slaves, I get it, but where's the people that have been successful throughout history, and not just Obama and Oprah either? Like, do we got actual represent? I'm about to go look for myself, man. I want.
Betsy Coleman.
That's what you all got to do. You got to go look for yourself. You know, it's like anything else. We can critique all we want, but just a thing that, like I said, brothers and sisters, it ain't just thrown together. It's professional.
Right.
It sound that way. I ain't gonna lie, but why we can't have no center of excellence where we show off all the amazing accomplishments? Why we gotta be slaves? Damn.
No, there's some great inventors. They were African Americans.
Hold on, let me finish, y'all.
Doc, let me tell you something though. When you know yourself, you ain't a slave, and you bring it on to other people, just like what you do. Because see, people watch you. You don't really have to say anything. If you about anything, you inspire them, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do much talking. If you about anything, people watch you.
I know.
Betsy Coleman. Did they have her picture on there?
What?
Did they have Betsy Coleman on the picture over there?
I know about that, Walter, but I know
Oh, come on. You have an F right now.
You got crazy, man.
Walter, you know what
Goddamn Walter. It's crazy. Crazy as a road lizard.
Hold on. Y'all, I'm about to leave.
Can I speak for this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Put your picture up there. Why don't you go up there? Maybe they'll let you put your picture up there.
Yeah, I'll be up there.
Well, ain't that personal, but you talk a lot of crazy stuff, man.
No, he said Betsy Coleman.
I know what he said.
Walter nuts, man.
Well, and it ain't nothing personal, brother. I've been doing this work a long time, Walter. I got nothing against you, but
No. We have mutual friends.
I would encourage any of you all to just go in there and have your own opinion. Don't take mine.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Glover. Is this over there by 6978 restaurant?
Yes, sir.
It's up there, yeah.
West up. Same side of the street. Right across the street from Gypsy Lube in Oak Park.
Oh,
yeah.
Gypsy Lube.
I know where just a little bit.
I think it's 6914 is the address.
Yes. It's really nice, you all.
What is the name of the building?
And I get it, Dr. Dre. Well, we can always talk about. I get all that too.
wait a minute.
But it's really nice, though.
I know. I'm sure it is. I just want our young people to not always get so inundated with that small portion of our history, be it that it's very large and overshadowing, but there's so much more excellence that we continue to not promote, because we gather around a few names and a small time period, and it's just like. And I'm saying that in respect to, we were just having a conversation about the lack of cultural education for our community. Every other culture has a school that they can go to learn about their culture, about their history, and we don't, and so, and while, slavery plays a large part of our history, it's not the only part. So that's all.
You telling me no colleges got like a club that teaches culture and history?
But no, we say college, right? And what I'm saying, for example, if you Greek, you're going to learn about your Greek heritage and history as a child. If you're Jewish, same thing. If you're Muslim, same thing. Asian, right? Like all of the different cultures have essentially a rite of passage where they're going to learn history and culture, and they're going to learn knowledge of self as a child. So it becomes that much more important to them as they become adults or of age to really lean into who they are. And for us, you know, our leaning into who we are typically because of the images that are consistently given to us about slavery, you know, that's so impactful to a mindset. That will make a person think that they can be no greater than that. And then we already have the conditions upon us where our parents consistently tell us no, don't, and stop, which stifles our imagination and creativity, which leads to the lack of innovation that you see in policy makers and decision makers for our community, why our communities still look the same. So
So
I'm just saying.
the morale was low.
Hold on, Mr. Glover wants to speak. Go ahead.
You know,
And then you, Dr. Orr.
one thing, I understand what you're saying. We don't have this, we don't have that. But the best thing can happen to anyone, I don't care what color you are, associate and get somebody completely different than you, it's color and everything. Get it,
Yeah.
be diverse. That's the best thing that you could ever have as far as learning. I was a commercial photographer. Sears and Montgomery Ward, you'll see how old. I never went to college to be a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
It was white guys that taught me how to be a commercial photographer. I would never give up. A lot of people say, "Oh, you won't be a photographer." I'm going to be a photographer, and I was one of the best. So, man, you know, I get it what you're saying, but man, you got to have some tough skin, and when you decide this is what you want to do, you can't let people turn you around.
Yeah,
no matter what they say, no matter what they do, you stay to your commitment.
I think the tough skin part is kind of understood, but what I think Dr. Dre is saying is,
I went through some things, but I'm just telling you, by being around different people, different nationalities, you pick up on a lot of stuff.
yeah, that's true.
You know, and a lot of this thing, like I say, I mean, I don't know, this thing could go all night on this conversation, but we always say this nationality is taken from us. That's nationality is taking this from us. Man, for what's for you, it's for you. If you just get out there, stretch out there. Somebody don't have to be your color to help you, man, or to teach you something. That's all I got to say. I'm a witness, and I was a good commercial photographer.
So true.
And I left there, and I worked 17 and a half years in the Department of Electricity in the city of Chicago. I've been in Chicago, well, I won't tell you my age, I've never been out of work. I went to a town in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a German town. I had a 2-week assignment. I was the only black person there. So I asked the art director, I said, where are the black people? He said, what do you want me to import them?
He said, look, he put a mirror up to you and said, look at him, huh?
Right. So, but man, the thing is, you gotta, we as a people gotta stretch out here, man. I mean, opportunity, like I said, we got so many people that's filthy rich that are black, entertainers, stars and stuff. They still won't move to help their people. So I'm gonna listen to you all the rest of the night and see what you all.
Okay, appreciate it. Appreciate you chiming in. Okay, Dr. O, you had something. Dr. O.
I with DeAndre about the images and how our history is portrayed. One thing is that is by design, because it don't just tell a story to us. It tells a story to the masses about who we are. And we dominated history before and after the captivity of our people, but we didn't dominate history, written in oral depiction of who we are. And every time we do that, it is portrayed as reverse racism. It's portrayed as something other than us having pride in ourselves. So until we can wrangle or get a hold of how we depict ourselves. But everyone, he's absolutely right. Every other culture is allowed their culture. They're allowed their language. They're allowed how they rear their children. They're allowed how they worship. They're allowed a town. They're allowed this. But once we start asking and demanding that for ourselves as blacks, as I'm not going to even call us black because we're not the color black. We are Americans. Some of us was here before Columbus and before, we are just as American as anybody else, whether you're talking about American culture or anything else. So we have to, in some sense of the word, begin to do our own storytelling, set up our own schools, because that was something, I'm not sure if it was Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey, who said the way you permanently enslave a people is you take their religion, their education, and their economics. And we've tried to assimilate to this culture so much so that we have kind of lost our way as far as educating ourselves. We have lost our way as far as collective and economics for our communities. We've lost our way as far as our own spirituality. So I get it, but we're going to have to take the reins of how we tell the story and then fight for us to have our stories and our own schools and our own ways of living, worshiping, rearing ourselves and our kids, because this is systemically has been penalized every time or any instance we do try to tell our own story. It's like, oh, it's reverse racism. Isn't that reverse racism? But is it reverse racism for Jews to talk about their history? Is it reverse racism for Asians to talk about their history? Is it reverse racism for Latinos or any other culture to have pride in their history and culture? So that is what's being depicted, and we are up against a whole system of propaganda, a whole socialization system. But we have the wherewithal and know-how and the innovation to really begin to spark that. And even in places that you all are describing on North Avenue, hey, if we get in there and we see, hey, why we got to be swing low, sweet chariot all day long? Where's the other people who've really been successful throughout history since post enslavement, post captivity? Where are those people at, and how do we begin to start promoting them? Because what's really, I hate to say it, that at least, oh my God, it's been 15 years ago, we created a play and we would visit the classrooms just as a precursor to the play to see what the youth knew. And the amazement is they knew maybe 3 Black figures, and one was Martin Luther King, the other one was Harriet Tubman. Who was the other one? It was one other one, but it was not. Those were the 3 that they barely knew and didn't want to know them, honestly, if I tell the truth. And that was 15 years ago. So I can imagine what's in schools now.
So look,
Yeah,
right, when I talk about that, I'm talking about Black figures like Reginald Lewis, right?
Yeah.
For y'all that don't know, Reginald Lewis was the first Black man to build a $1 billion company in 1987.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I'm talking about I can't think of my man's that area. Hold on, let me look it up. Arrow Investments. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't even talk about
Oh,
Ida B.
yeah,
Wells at all. They
yeah.
don't even mention Ida B. Wells. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
People just think Ida B. Wells is a, a project where they don't even talk about, her, Shahrazad Ali,
Facts.
Right.
Afeni Shakur. They like
Yeah.
these people are not, and that's how you can tell, like that little center that they built up there. They're not doing that. We all the Black people in the Ulster area, for the most part, know what happened, know our history. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. Those little community centers they're not trying to empower Black people. Because if they were trying to empower Black people, you wouldn't build that. We already got a whole lot of those. You would build some type of tech school. We don't need to be teaching kids about ancient Africa and the ancient spirituality, and we don't need to be teaching them now. These people need to learn how to program. These people need to know how to. These people, hold on now, brother.
I
Hold
disagree.
on now. I got you, Tiny. I got you. But
Okay.
I'm not saying now listen, hold on. I'm not saying not teach your kids, you feel me, or teach they should not learn about, what happened to us. But what I'm saying is it's way more important things that you could talk about. When a kid, a black kid grows up in America, he already knows something is off from when he walk in the room, what I'm saying,
Hey,
and he around white people. Like we know
True,
something is off
true,
already.
true,
So, you
true.
know, so so how I look at it is, start teaching them something. That's why Dre saying, man, I want to get this program started so I can teach people how to do this instead of teaching them you was a slave and you were more in an Indian and you was here. How do you feel? Stupid. Because I don't know what electricity is. What is electricity made out of? You know what I'm saying? What's the lowest form? Like, does it flow through a copper wire? Does it flow through
But
a sterling
why
silver
can't
wire?
why
Like that's
can't we
can
vote?
I
important.
say something?
Come on now.
Why
All
can't we
right,
just vote?
how come we're fighting on the phone while the public school system failing the children, teaching about transgenders and all this?
That's
But
Brandon. He did that. Lori, he did that. And black folks voted for them folks. They did that.
you want everybody to be educated. So how come nobody's fighting for education? Should be
I,
hands
I
off
don't
on their
disagree.
children. They should
Go
be
ahead,
taught,
Walter.
huh?
I said, nah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna jump in
No,
now.
they should be taught, right? And then, learning history. They should have a history class of African American inventors, businessmen, and they should have classes like
Yeah, but
inventions.
see, Walter, that goes back what Dr. O said with the systemic. They don't want to teach the kids that. They like when I was growing up, Walter, in
I
our
know, same
books.
as me.
Hold on. But when I was growing up, they were not saying Egypt was in Africa. Like they
That's a
was like
fact.
making it like they were like two different places. And they even got a meme. They got a meme going around of a white dude in a pharaoh hat.
That's right. Facts.
That's true. Like white people in America whitewash history. They don't like to
History.
show
Yes.
like real true history. So that's why
Facts.
they do have
Public
those type of
schools,
centers, Walter. That's why they do have those type of centers. So I
I know
get
how
both
public
sides.
schools is terrible. They're not teaching kids,
It's
men,
not no, it's
trans,
not, it's no,
The
it's not
people.
public
curriculum,
school,
this is what
it's
I do
private
know is
school, it's all the schools. They
all the
don't teach the
schools,
proper history.
they're not allowed. I'm gonna just tell you. So I was going to Northeastern and they had a African American, Black African American, all that history, stuff like that. But I was specifically told, and I went there to take their African American studies courses, but I was
It's a
specifically
liberal
told
school.
that they could only teach certain information or they
Right.
would be
It is.
fired.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
or
Yep,
they'll be
absolutely.
fired
'Cause
or
it's
they would
liberal.
discontinue. And it's really
No,
it's
that's not
so
liberal. That's
but
conservative.
listen though, but listen to this. We had drew conclusions about China teaching um their people and their people only allowing certain history about China to be taught in their classrooms. But it's the same here, and it's
Same
under the
thing here.
guide.
Facts.
It's the exact same thing here. You teaching American history, but there's nothing in American history in our books. And this has been like I'm over 50, and we didn't learn one. I think in our books we had one paragraph about African American history, and a little bit of that paragraph was divided up with something about Martin Luther King and civil rights. That was
No,
it.
me.
If you went any further, you were penalized, disciplined, fired, and it's across the board. Even in Black colleges, they can only go so far with that, and it's by design. This is systemic because it's
And
not
for
just a message to Black, but it's a message to other cultures, other races, and as well as whites. I had a conversation with a white couple yesterday. We went down a rabbit hole, baby. And what was so interesting was that they had no clue about the Black experience in America. None.
Yeah, they should.
And
They really shouldn't though.
They
That ain't
shouldn't
their
I
though.
mean,
problem.
Yeah,
They
well,
just
no,
not
they
that they
shouldn't.
shouldn't know, but the understanding of systems
Right.
and understanding of how systems work disproportionately. Yeah, I
I mean,
get
See,
that
them
they
people
don't
know they was just
understand the
acting the
Black.
fool, Dr. O. They know. You can't be white in America and not know. They was acting the fool. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
They
have let them get
yeah,
are
away with
yeah.
that.
like a
See,
Continue
Doctor
fool.
that.
O,
I
Doctor
wouldn't have let
O,
them get
that
away with that.
liberal, that white
You know,
liberal.
it was a rabbit
They
hole
are acting
conversation,
like a
so I told
fool.
them
Come
that.
on. Every white person know that shit. They're
let
just
me
acting
let me say this.
stupid, liberal shit.
Yep,
Yeah, well,
yep.
they
They
got an
know.
earful,
Let
so
me back it up a bit. When you were
they
saying
got
that
an
it's
earful.
time that the systems are put in place to educate the youth going forward, that's you said China, they negate or they redact out a lot of things that happened in their history.
No,
I was in Germany.
I was saying China, they redact anything that's not aligned with their political system and their
Facts though.
political culture that they promote. And we as Americans, we shunned them and frowned down on their practice when we do the same thing. We just disguise it as democracy. We teaching freedom. We just what do they call it? Lord, I know this word. We reframe it. Oh my God, we reframe it, we remessage it, we repackage the messaging, but it's the same thing. They're only teaching, I don't even know whether to call it American history. I don't know what to call
I mean, even in the South, I got a cousin. This is my cousin, and
it. Yeah.
he live in Kentucky, and me and him was arguing about the Civil War. He arguing with us up here, and he talking about how it was down there. And we like, boy, you got a Southern way of thinking because we don't think like that up north. Not up
Well,
here.
What's he talking about then?
I mean, he was just saying. I mean, his reenactment of the Civil War and how it started and who was winning and all that was just like I was kind of all over the place. It wasn't what we was told. You know what I'm saying? And that we was told that they were winning. And then
Right.
when black people got
They were.
involved,
They were
Right.
winning.
no, right, they were. And also, but see, but see what in the North, what they don't tell you though, what they don't tell you that they was getting some of that cotton gin money. They was getting
Yep.
some of that cotton money,
Yep.
and that
Yep.
money
Yep.
was
Yep.
flowing up north too.
Yes,
And
it
the first
was.
slaves was in the North, not the
Yep.
South. And then
Yep.
the South got mad and said, "Hold on, my nigga, you gave us these slaves and y'all financed it, and
Yep.
now that you see we booming with it, you want to abolish it." That's what happened.
Woo. Woo. Interesting.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
But
y'all better.
again,
I don't think they wanted to abolish it. They wanted a good portion of it.
They wanted to make money
no,
off of it.
facts. No, yeah.
They were like, no, it don't work like that. But
Because
I'm gonna say
Lincoln said he didn't care if it abolished it or not. If he could save the war, either way he'd
Facts.
save it.
Facts.
Lincoln
Yep.
didn't
Facts.
care. He
That's
was,
right. So I got a
now
question for the group.
That's why they killed them.
yeah, that's why he popped him.
Dr.
Yeah,
Ordin,
they killed them.
So I
what's your
got a
question?
question. So with the way our governing systems are in place right now, the striation and levels of access or access denied to resources, information, finances, funding, all of the what did we call these? Just basic life needs.
They're a
With the
money pyramid.
with the inequities of all of this.
There's a
Is
big
this
money
a
pyramid.
subliminal? Is this a big subliminal form of slavery?
Well, you talking about this capitalist system that we operate under?
Yeah, it's capitalist, but it's capitalist layered with other stuff. So
Or you
yes,
talking about the matrix that we live in? Because what do you wait? Because I mean,
just help me through the
Yeah.
question, because I just want to know
all right.
honestly. The more I went down, the more conversation I have about the layers and the striations of systems that we have to navigate as people and Black people, is it just a different form of slavery?
It's definitely a different form. I mean,
Wait, hold on, I'm lost.
Yeah, I'm lost too.
What?
well,
Because everybody going through everything right now. It don't matter if you
Well,
white,
I'm
black,
saying
or not.
this. No, I'm saying this. So when we go into so we got a system of redlining that happens. Our interest rates are double and triple our counterparts. Um, our school systems are actually dismantled. We suffer displacement at an alarming rate. Our unemployment is 3 or 4 times higher than our counterparts. We
Because
go
niggas don't
get
want to work.
jobs. Hold on. We go get jobs, but we could be equitably qualified or even more qualified than our counterparts. We're paid less. We're respected less. The whole shebang. When we look at everything we're navigating every single day, how does this play out? Is there true opportunity for people, or is there this like a modern day form of slavery? It's like subversive, and when it's not overt, it's like a covert subversive form of slavery. So that's what I'm asking. How do you all view this? Help me get a different understanding of this.
Were you redline, Dre or Steve? Was y'all redline when y'all bought y'all buildings?
Yeah.
um, I wasn't so much red line, but there was definitely a line that was red. I guarantee you that. I mean, getting a loan, it wasn't. I went to a bank one time that was just right up the street on North Avenue. It's called Sterling Bank. It's still owned by a guy named Mr. It was Eisenhower, I think his name was. Yeah, and the bank looked like it was still in the 50s. But I went to him and asked him for a loan, and he laughed. I said, I just need a small loan to do my roof. You know, maybe like, it was only like $5,000 at the most. You know, I don't even think I wanted that much. Might have been $2,000 back in '92. And he laughed. He was like, well, you know, there's not much redlining going on. I'm like, well, you redlining me now. Because you know I have the equity in the place, and I'm doing it to improve the place. But he gave me this whole, man, I sat at a table that was as long as a building. He sat at one end and I sat at the other end. I felt like I was in the 50s, which the bank was still like that actually. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of that. Now we did have banks like South Shore that came into the community that really helped people, you know, in the area. That was a plus. But was it going on? Most definitely it was going on. When you know redlining is going on, you just look at how many people are piled in a certain area. People don't want to always be like that. That's because they can't. They can't. There's you got to jump a lot of hurdles. And look, I ended up getting a loan through a board member with NAC that was a golf course facilitator up there where you live, Mosaic, in Evanston. Michael Jordan used to go there, and the bank president at this other bank, which at the time was called Cragen Bank, which was on Fullerton and Laramie, he sat with that guy and told him to hook me up, and that's how I got the loan. Other than that, they were sitting on it for months and months and months. And
So,
it wasn't.
You know what? That's interesting. That speaks to exactly what I keep saying, which is kind of part of what the fabric of the Reuters Center is all about, the economic and social capital development of our people. I mean, that's how everything worked. Before we got here, it was always who you know. Whether you was black, white, or otherwise. It was always, and it's going to be that way, and even more so now as resources become scarcer. So it's really incumbent on us to go out and make those connections without fear of what could be happening, right? Like Dr. O asked me the other day about like my goals and stuff, and how come how do I continue to keep doing? I have no fear. I don't fear nothing. I don't even fear death at this point, because what I do is make sure that even I'm set up so that if I'm not here, the instructions are already left about what needs to happen. You feel me? So Like
Yeah.
when you get into that type of mindset about not allowing yourself to fail, you won't.
Yeah.
Everything is mindset driven. And so we got to start looking at it for what it is. Yeah, we these people they every time we turn around, they're gonna always be on the goal line, and we're gonna always be at the 10-yard line and gotta work all the way up the field. You know what I mean? But now that's where strategy come into play.
Right. That's right.
How I'm gonna move on this field so I can make it to the end zone. I already know where
Yeah.
you at. But why
Yeah.
am I worried about where you at when I can't do nothing about you? I can only worry
Yeah.
about me. You feel me? Like
Yep.
we got to get into that.
I agree.
Right. But you gotta be able to recognize it for what it is. Also, I'm gonna step back one point, and I'm gonna let Tiny come in. I was gonna say when I was in Germany some years ago, I was shocked to understand that they did not teach the Holocaust in their history.
Yep.
German people, they said we're not allowed to teach that to the young people.
That's
I was
right.
like, what? The biggest part of what y'all did was toast some shit up. Fuck some people up. And you want to talk about it? Are you serious?
Yep.
And no, we don't do that. I'm like, wow. So it's gonna repeat itself because if what they say, history is bound to repeat itself if it's never made clear and made transparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Ty, you had something? Tiny. Okay, whenever you're ready, Tiny, you can come back. But back again to the whole.
Oh, I'm back, Steve. I'm sorry, I muted myself. Yeah. So what I wanted to say, now, I'm a student of slavery, and in during slavery, they took everything from us.
Yeah.
Everything. They recreated us, and like somebody said earlier, we're American. We are American. We are truly American. You know, and slavery was made of lies. They made it seem like in slavery all we got was beat up and lynched. But we had a lot of revolutions. A lot of people killed those white people. That's why they created the slave catchers and the militia, because the slaves were rebelling. It wasn't as easy as they want to tell
They
us.
can say that's right.
Yeah, they lied to us.
Every year when they drop a slave's tale, I skip all the slave tales unless it's killing white people. Them the ones
Okay.
that I like to watch. Give
Yeah,
me all the rebellion movies.
Right.
and it's a lot of them. And let me just say this one also. Russia, Russia never had slaves. Like America and Britain, they never had slaves. And the only black people in Russia are students. And they treat those students better than they treat the Russians.
Actually,
And that's now, that's today.
I worked with Russians, and they actually told me. They said, during the early 1900s, Paul Robeson was highly admired in Russia. He would come. I said, because of singing and acting. They said no, because his theological, not theological, but his what do you want to call it? His philosophical and intellectual level. That's what they. And I was like, what? In the 20s? Are you kidding me? It was like, yeah. I said, how come we didn't appreciate them here? How come people in America didn't, other than black people, didn't appreciate them as such? And you're absolutely right. There's actually a college in Moscow called the College of Lumumba, which was named after I think the ex-president of Kenya or somewhere back in. And they all talk about it. Oh yeah, the College of Lumumba. Many people go there. I'm like, wow, we don't have anything like that where an African president. I mean, people would go crazy here. African president college, why? Why would you need that? But I mean, we're still struggling with younger white people saying, why do you got to have African American college? Why do you have to have? Remember when they used to have Miss Black America? They don't have it anymore. They stopped that years ago. And you said, why you gotta have a Miss Black America? Because they wouldn't let anybody into the regular Black America. So I mean, they don't understand that. All this wasn't by, it was by force. It wasn't by choice. Which is, I saw the shift of all of that. But at the same note, when they got rid of Miss Black America, they still had Miss Italian America. I'm like, why
Okay.
did you Italian American? Because they want to hold on to that. You ain't tell them not to have Miss Italian American.
Yeah.
And you know they were doing that over in Elmwood Park, right, Walter? Because that's where I seen it. And I was like, what? They still doing it?
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead, Tiny. You still had something?
Yeah, just one more thing. Jack Johnson.
Oh, don't even go there.
Hey, right. Muhammad Ali say Jack Johnson is the greatest fighter ever.
Yeah, Jack Johnson. Yeah.
He did what he did, and he didn't have nobody with him.
That's
Wasn't no
right.
Muslim, wasn't nobody.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, I go back to we can have both. I think Dre is kind of right. We don't need to dwell on the glint. What do you call it? The kind of dark and dreary part about history. But hey, it is part of the history. But there are a lot more highlights.
Right. Right. And we've always been a part of history, and we've always done great things. We've always made history. Like we made the first electric car. I forget the guy's name now, but whatever's been going on, we've been there and we've been doing great things.
Yep.
And we need to know that. Our kids need to know that. They need to know everything that happened.
But
Just like the Jews do and all them people. We can't forget.
I guess it's different when everything is kind of a given for you in life. I remember back 20 years ago, we had a white organizer. Her name was April Kuntz, and the black organizer was telling April about our bookkeeper, which her name was Irma Ford. She was the first black patrol woman out of Natchez, Mississippi, and the black organizer said, Miss Ford she's actually she made history. She's a history maker. And April goes, well, history's made every day. So what's your point? It's like, yeah.
Oh, Lord, stop.
It ain't like that in black life. It's not like that. You can't diminish when a black person says she's a history maker. Because you got to look and understand the premise around all of what she had to go through to be the first black female police officer in Natchez, Mississippi in the 60s or the late 50s, I think it was. I was like, that's a lot. You just don't understand it, but she, diminished it down to, well, that's not anything. History is made every day. No. We're gonna stop calling it history. We're gonna call adversity. How about that? The Adversity Museum. The Black Adversity Museum. What about that? It's just. I had to tell somebody the other day. I said, I lived in a period where Jim Crow was still prevalent. And I come from a place where they, you either knew your place or they made a place for you. It wasn't gonna be above ground. So,
yeah, man.
I told him, I said, when I was probably 4 years old, I was in a Woolworth down south of my hometown, and there was nobody there. And my mom was ordering at the cashier, but the table, the counter was empty, and all the little they used to have them little rollers seats you sit on. And I went to get on the seat, and she went off on me, yanked me back, and went up. Yeah, I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, what? I didn't know. I didn't know we couldn't sit there. I didn't know she had to get her food standing at the cashier and get what we needed. I didn't know until I put it all together. And then I started seeing they actually had that Woolworth in like a Gordon Liddy, what's his name? The artist, the black artist, I forgot his name, but he had a picture or a photo of a lady standing out there with one of them poodle skirts on, and a black lady and her daughter, like in the 50s. And I'm like, this is a historical place. We used to go there all the time. And then I'm looking, and I understood what his picture meant. It was like black people really can't go in here. And then he had a picture of the lady, and it was like, look how beautiful she looks with her daughter, but they're still not allowed in there. I'm like, I really didn't understand. But again, you know, I've lived through things like that. First time I really recognized segregation was when I came to Chicago. And I noticed when I was at the Walgreens that's on across the street from Marshall Field or Macy's down on Randolph and State. I remember, and I couldn't even read, but I understood it. It had water fountain and it had bathrooms. It had black, it had color, and it had white. And I mean, again, I couldn't read, but I could tell there was a big difference. I mean, just by the aesthetics, and I understood it, and that stayed in my mind. You know, those two things stayed in my mind, and technically in 60, let's say 67, 68, those things were kind of trying to disappear because of the laws. But you know, laws, as we know now, laws take a long time to really go into effect. They don't really go into effect as soon as they say this is when it's supposed to. And I just didn't understand it. But I lived through it. I knew the trials and tribulations. I also knew history of America. And I was that kind of kid, like DeAndre said. I would watch cowboy and Indian movies, and I would root for the Indians. I'd be like, I'd be like 6, 7 years old. I'm like, why you kill all the Indians?
Right. That's right.
You know, I see what they're doing, but I'm like, somebody had to do something to these people because they're really going crazy with white people. But what did these white people do to them? So I mean, I was always the guy that rooted for the Indians. You know, no matter what the circumstance was, it didn't sit well with me the way they portrayed the actors. I don't know. It wasn't authentic, and I knew that as a kid. And then when you start to read and learn about history more, and you go, wow, now I know what it is. These people didn't have a chance. They foxed over to reservations. They came in and took over. And mind you, I was born on 100 years after the Civil War ended, you know, after emancipation. And I used to always say, you know, the people that created the problems and racism and superiority syndromes that go on in America, they'll all be gone with about, I'm doing the math. I'm like, these people are old, these older white people, they're probably like 50 plus years old. They go back 50 years since 1900 or something like that. And by another 40, 50 years, they'll be dead, and then we'll have no more racism.
Maybe they built that in, honey.
Yeah,
they built that in.
That ain't how it works. It ain't got nothing to do with what was. It's got to do with what I'm teaching, what I am, you know, creating, and it goes back to what you just said. The system which was put in place. You know, this system that's put in place. You know, nobody really recognizes this. The way we value money now is based on Nixon in 1970. What was it, Barry? 72 or 74?
71.
71, when they changed the money system over from gold to oil. And the reason they really changed it over to oil is because they knew there was an unlimited amount of oil per se, and they knew that they could get the Saudis to beckon about to the situation, and all they had to do was print money off of oil, because they told the Saudis, don't accept no other currency but dollars when it comes to oil. And we got these. We'll make sure you're safe over there. We'll give you all types of incentives. We'll give you military, anything. And they built this whole oasis in the desert. You know, it started before then, but that's when they put the cap on it. So all they do is just print. All we living off is printed money. That's all it is. Printed money. We need a couple more $1 trillion more, print some more.
And that's why the country is going down. And I can say this, let's watch New York. That young guy who's talking about he's a democratic socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch that, because things happen on the East Coast or the West Coast, and then it comes in.
Yep.
Not enough. You're absolutely right. You're You're absolutely right. I mean, even look at rap culture. Even rap culture started on the East Coast, and you think it would have moved towards the middle. It didn't move to rap and hip hop. Well, hip hop, I said hip hop kind of. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say rap. That started on the East Coast. You think it would have kind of came to Chicago and built up? We didn't have rappers and none of that till what, the 90s?
80s and 90s, yep.
We didn't really have Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie was like a house guy.
DJ, yep.
Yeah, with some rap music. That's all that was. You know that. But the West Coast had rappers. They had people like Ice-T. They had people like some group called the LA Dream Team, which is kind of this or that. But then they had people like NWA that just put their message. See, that's how rap really changed the world and changed America. People started talking about their situation and how they were being treated in their communities and neighborhoods. It started in the Bronx and Harlem, and they were saying how things were and how, well, they didn't call it red. What did they call it? Urban renewal, Barry? When they started
they did.
Yeah.
That's true.
People
God.
Start just getting up, burning out their places and getting up things.
Yep.
And we realized that they were just other people trying to get in and fit in and live. And then, people start rapping about how depressed the situations were. And of course, it went to West Coast because by the time the West Coast rappers got involved, which was like the bigger groups with NWA, I would have to say around 88, 89, they were talking about the brutality of how living in Compton and Inglewood and Watts, how they were just being brutalized by law enforcement, and they couldn't get out of that. There was no way to run and hide. And it told a story, and it had a beat, and that's probably why it doesn't really work in Chicago. But
Chicago's a different type of political town. Chicago is different town. We've based in mob history. You know what I mean? So we are a whole different type of politics here. Even when you think about our sports teams, all of that is really everything we do here is tied to our politics.
Yep.
And that's interesting and intriguing. So that's probably one of the very reasons why it didn't kick off here, take off here. That culture, it wasn't necessarily a welcome culture here either. So
I remember push rap in Chicago, it couldn't get pushed in the late 80s.
That's right.
House music would dominate. They wasn't gonna let it happen.
Yep.
You could only hear rap music on the radio at midnight on Friday night.
Yep.
On the Rap Town. That's the only time you could. And then they would play it till 1 in the morning, maybe 2 at the most. But they weren't having it on. It just wasn't allowed. But again, it's based on the way people here move, organize, and strategize, and it's all based on politics. And it's a trickle down effect. On those other coasts, I guess they didn't really figure out how to amalgamate people to get their agenda pushed through, which we're going to go back to because we did talk about Congressman Davis's push for LaShawn and Richard Borkin that I know of. I also heard that Melissa had a jam up. I heard she got caught up and they brought out they had to pay $100,000 to the 2 women each that were allegedly she had to take her kids out, her daughter or something. And they had to pick her up or something as part of their jobs. But that was supposedly had happened last week, which means she ain't looking too great on the scene for this election for Congress. We brought up DeAndre brought up what you say about
was made by adding the two.
Oh, my bad. Say it again.
People were saying about LaShawn out there.
Just more or less, not really loving the team, you know, that's promoting him and things like that. That's all.
Right. No, I get that too. I've heard that also. But I've heard a myriad of things with him. So it's
Yeah,
a
I've
lot.
heard that too about his team, you know.
Yeah. And I've heard people I heard a lady go so close, so much to say allegedly. I heard her say it, but I don't know where she said it happened to. She said that the man literally didn't give her earnest money back when he was doing real estate.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I don't know what that really means. You know? But it may, she was so mad that she was good to know he wasn't running in for the state seat again. I don't know. It's a shoot. I heard something today about him, and it went all the way out to the suburbs. Somebody went to the door and they brought his name up and said, nah, can't do it. They were out in the south suburbs, you know, which I guess. Wait a minute. I don't even know why that would matter because I don't know. That's not even part of the district. I think though. I got to look at the remapping, but yeah, it's gonna be a fight for him. I'm gonna tell you that.
I think he do got some part of the west suburbs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he do have some part of the west suburb. I'm not sure what the mapping is.
I think it goes all the way out to Westchester, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the furthest point.
Right. So I mean, it is what it is. I just think, you know, people saying, you know, what he's done. Yeah, I think he's done a great job with the opioid task force. I also believe people that's working on it are the real
True.
of it, because shame on anybody that didn't do it from the state legislator, knowing our districts and how they really needed this. You know, that's the key. They should have been supporting them to kind of eradicate and reduce this whole epidemic that's happening. But I also believe anybody that gets in that seat gonna make that happen, because you'd be stupid to stop that money. Whoever gets that seat, that would be the worst thing in the world you could do. Say we don't need that funding for that, you know. And I get it. You know, I've had people say, you know, we're fighting this on the wrong end. We're fighting it on the end of, you know, after the fact. Well, we need it on after the fact. We need it on the front end before it gets out there. We need to put the full fight on. You know, you get in the ring. You don't get in the ring. Say, I'm just gonna get in the ring, put my fist up. You don't go. You say, I got to punch some. You got to move some. You might have to take a couple blows, but you just don't get in the ring with the strategy of one and say this is gonna win the fight, unless you don't plan on winning the fight. So, here,
But
be quiet.
Steve, can I ask the question?
Sure.
Okay, everybody that's online tonight, how do you all feel about a black bank coming into the community?
You heard that? A black
bank? Black-owned bank
coming into the community.
Who gonna own it?
You mean like
Liberty Bank? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. How do you feel about a black-owned bank coming into the community?
Okay.
I personally prefer Jewish banks. That's just me.
It depends on what they'll offer, because I banked with Liberty over in River Forest, and the unfortunate is they just didn't have the technology, and they were too constricted to what they were able to offer in terms of service, right? So you get this one location. If you want to withdraw your money, you have to go to that location, right? Which is, you know, just typical of a bank. But I mean, when you don't have many locations, you're resigned to having to travel to this location, right? They don't have ATMs available in multiple locations. So, you know, even if you had a place closer to you, you know, They didn't have true mobile banking in the sense that, you know, I could log on and handle my banking business. You know, like if I wanted to go to my Chase app right now and pay a bill, I could, you know, do that right off the app. Can't do that with that. They did not have now, you know, you can tap to pay. They didn't have tap to pay, whether it was on the card or it was on the mobile phone. And we're in an increasingly integrated world where, you know, speed is the name of the game. So, you know, I want to be able to get in and get out. I push my phone, my power button 2 times, my face pops up, it asks me for my face unlock, and I tap and I go, you know. And so when you don't have those things, you can't compete effectively. So yeah, we can have a Black-owned bank come to the community, but will they be able to compete effectively with the other competitors in the market so that they can get our money?
How could we? How could we help get them in this position to be like BMO? Well, not so much like BMO because they'll never make it at the top like BMO. But how could we get them in the position that where they could function in our community?
Well, first of all, they have to stop being so half-assed with the service with the for us, because you know, I wouldn't mind if it was a full service Black-owned bank with, like he was saying, all the things that come with banking. You know, you just don't want a bank where you just deposit your money and leave it and go back and get it if you need it. You don't want that. You want more. And if they're gonna come half-assed, we don't need it.
I agree with you because, and I have talked to the bank manager, and these are the things that I have brought to them. Why do we have to go through so many loops, red tape and everything to even get a loan or whatever? Because, I mean, our people, our own people make it hard for our own people.
Thank you.
But we got to try to figure out how we can overcome some of those obstacles in order to make some things work in our community. Maybe halfway like BMO or Chase. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? That's a good point that you just brought up. Let's unpack that. So having a Black-owned bank does what for the community exactly?
That's what I'm trying to say. We don't have it, and they don't. They take us through too many changes, and this is what I'm trying to bring to the community, that where the community can explain to them. I tell them what we want and how we want it.
But why? And look, people who own banks are usually rich, and black or white, they think the same way, and they don't think much of us.
And if you Black and you go into a bank and I'm not saying anybody here is thinking like that, but if you thinking, oh man, we Black, home slice, we both were slaves, you gonna get a loan because of that, that Black man gonna look at you like a straight peasant. He gonna like, I worked all my life, went hard, got all these degrees, and you waltzing up in here thinking I'm gonna give you something because we got the same color? It don't work like that. It don't work like that. If credit bad, and the reason why we don't get loans because Black people don't know how to pay stuff back. We real bad at that. Yeah, that's the truth. I just said it.
Can I say this? Okay, we all got complaints about our own people. Why can't we come together, get with the bank and these politicians and see and tell them what we want and why they do us like they do us? Why we can't get together and do that?
Because that's begging. You begging a white man. Why you keep whooping why you keep beating on me? Why we can't get tap to pay, white man? I got the politics. No, do it yourself. Like, do it yourself. That bank, that Black bank is supposed to do it themselves. Go to Chinatown. Chinatown, they got their own bank with the Chinese words on there and everything. You feel me? And
those people are together. Those people are together. That's what I'm trying to say.
Are not together.
Well, that's true. That's why I'm trying to tell us people today. Why can't we come together and sit down with these politicians and tell them how we want it and what we want in our community?
Because they don't care.
That's an excellent point, Ms. Jacobs, because when you're talking about, let's talk about the Soul City Corridor, which has been expanded by the General Assembly to the Soul City District. You know, how does that look if you're going to have an institution, a Soul City Corridor, that's not a Black institution, but you're supposed to start all these Black businesses, right?
Right. And then Steve, and then she said something which is on point. You know, we make it hard for us. And I understand that there are parameters, requirements, all of that stuff. But when we look at other cultures, they are open and willing to work with their people so that their people can build up and be in advance. And with us, it's like we protecting somebody else's stuff like it's ours and it's not. And we give each other such a hard time. We hold each other to standards that we wouldn't hold another culture to. Like if Caucasian come in their bank, baby, you ain't got no problems. Yes, sir, no, sir, all of that stuff. But if you a Black man come in that bank, baby, you gonna have to pull out all your IDs. You gonna have a stamp of blood. You need your DNA. You need everything before we reverence or respect to even try and support one another. So I get what she's saying as far as, you know, if it's a Black-owned bank, and DeAndre said, how is it serving us? How do it really, really serve us? And
but see, this is what we saying. This is what we saying. We studied saying what's happening with our bank or our community. So we'll study talking back and forth. When can we come together to sit down with the powers to be and say, this is what we want and why we can't have it? We want it like this.
Yeah, I feel like the Austin area, like let's say you put it in the Austin area. Most people in the Austin area is broke. Like, you know, and then why would you want to label your bank a Black bank? Now you got Hispanics and white people who not gonna go there because they think, like, we gotta stop doing that. It's not we don't have enough collective, we don't have enough collectiveness to be trying to separate from the world and say this is a Black-owned bank. I wouldn't tell not one Black person that I got my own business because I don't want you knowing. Because I want white business, Jewish business. I don't want you knowing there's a Black business. And that's not important.
What do you think Bank of the Popular is? That's a Hispanic bank. They do it. I don't think people say I'm not gonna go there because it's just Hispanic.
Trust me. When them white people see them little Spanish and all that, they don't go to that. They don't do that. And you create a niche, these small niche banks that's not gonna impact anything. And Black people don't do enough business, don't got enough good credit, don't got enough good morality, financial stability to even be going to these banks. That bank is gonna lose so much money.
You rather spend your money at like a Wells Fargo or a Citibank.
I'm going with the Jews when it comes to numbers, Steve. I'm going with Jewish people. Everybody gotta respect their situation. Jewish people are good with numbers. Niggas not. We good at MacArthur's and basketball and doing some of that. We're little inventors too, but we just not known for that. So I'm not going to no Black bank.
But did you know Jews were known for basketball?
Yeah, until the niggas came and that ain't not known for basketball. But you ain't gonna but the Blacks ain't gonna never beat the banking system. The banking system is solidified. It's already what it is right now. And we shouldn't be worried about no Black bank. We ain't even got a Black community. We got a small little pockets on the west side. There's small little Black areas. There's not enough collectiveness for things of that nature.
Think about it like this, Mosaic. If we are the economic engine for the country, we're the biggest spenders in this country, on this planet. So
spenders, not investing, not getting loans and paying loans back, having good credit. Only because Black women buy a whole bunch of weave, that doesn't mean that that's going to be good for a bank.
So just hear me out. So since we are the biggest spenders, there is something there. I do
For
think that
who? For the bank?
I think we lack the education and the infrastructure to build our own because
No,
we
no.
did
But
that
what do
in
you?
Black
Wait,
Wall
wait. Hold
Street.
on, ma'am. What do you
In Black
mean by we the
in
biggest spenders in a
hold
correlation to
on,
the bank? I'm
you're
saying
not
no, in
listening to me.
correlation to the bank.
You're not listening.
Because you finna go on. I'm trying to stop you. What you
No,
mean
you're
by
not.
we big
You're not.
spenders for the bank?
We
What do you
are.
mean?
I didn't say
You
that.
just babbling.
You weren't
Hold on, let me
listening. Don't do
finish,
that, Mosaic. Don't do that. I'm not I never
You
babble.
you 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 are. You not talking about nothing.
Mosaic.
What do you mean that we are big
Mo,
spenders and
Mosaic.
we can help the bank?
No,
Listen to
what
the listen to the sentence, sir. You have poor listening skills. So listen to the sentence. The sentence is we are the biggest spenders in this country, on this planet. So it's not necessarily sustainable to say or accurate to say that we don't have the money. I'm saying that we need to
If you
have
want to land a dream job,
the
the first
understanding as well as the infrastructure. Because if we could do it for Black Wall Street and the other Black communities that built themselves and built their own banks and their own communities, we could do it now. We just have to educate and create a different infrastructure that will work for our people. Because what's happening is we are the economic engine. People build. I have been told that some of the people in the other ethnicities that are in our communities with their stores and with their businesses, that's their second income, not their primary income. That's what they send home to their family. So we do spend money. We do have money. We don't have the knowledge, the know-how, the understanding, nor the
So how does that
infrastructure.
help the bank?
That's all I'm saying. I'm
How does
saying
that help the bank?
if we educate ourselves and
You're
create a
not
system
saying
that works,
nothing but
a system that
buzzwords.
works for
Come on, man.
ourselves,
This is
a
ridiculous.
system that works for ourselves, we can do something, but we have to educate ourselves and create a system that works for us.
There you go. That's what I was hoping to
Because
hear.
that's period.
And work together, come together.
Buzzwords.
I mean, it can be done. Like I said, they created the Soul City Corridor. Why can't we have a Black-owned bank with Black people being hired from the community to work in it? And we support it and build that economic engine that makes it run. Does it take $1 billion? Not a year. But I guarantee you, if you had $1 billion in there, they can give out quite a few loans. $1 billion is $1 billion ain't like it used to be.
That's why I said maybe we need to come together as a community and talk to these politicians or whoever these candidates and things, and we all come together on one accord. Maybe we could come up with something that this can really happen in our community. We can turn it around.
You know what? I ain't gonna lie, Miss Jacobs. That's easier said than done because you know what we do too often? We'll get in there, we'll get a person in there, and then we'll talk hard, like we should go, man, make them accountable. Blah, blah, blah. But then in the other breath, you know what? And I'm gonna speak to this towards Mayor Johnson, where we'll put them in there and we be like, man, I'm not necessarily happy with what they're doing and I want to put pressure on them. But then we'll hit back and be like, but that's a Black man though, man. We got to give him a chance. We got to, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, how are we going to actually get to that point whenever we talk about putting pressure on somebody, we turn around and be like, but nah, they deserve a chance. They got to give them a while. And then that chance turns into 30
But then
years.
look at this too, Dre.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. If you put you in there, wait a minute. If we put you in there, you're not going to be perfect. Everybody's not going to like you. They're going to say you're not doing something right. So
but I ain't going to change though. Whatever I'm doing right now only get elevated. So you already know I'm finna do my thing though. I ain't a talking head. I don't even like talking. I'm straight about action. Boots on the ground, big dog. Been doing that.
Hey, look, I'm boots on the ground too, baby. Believe me, I'm boots on the ground. It ain't my first rodeo. So what I'm saying is, hey, We need to come together as Black people and work this thing together and stop criticizing what we can't do and how it would have been or should have been. That's what we need to do.
I'm thinking that, again, why can't we try? You know, if we don't try, younger people never will. They'll just figure, well, banking will be like Mosaic. Banking is for other people, not for us. And that's not true. If we're spending the money, how come we can't spend it in our own community and recirculate that money?
That's what my point is.
That's right. I mean, that's right.
But you got to understand, Steve, only because there are Black people buying Cadillacs, wigs, 27 pieces, bobs, that has no correlation with a bank. If you have a Black bank in a neighborhood, Steve, right? Let's say you got a Black bank on Chicago Avenue, and all the Black people in the neighborhood, all they do is use that bank to get their check, and then in 3 days in the Black neighborhood, when you get your check on Friday, by Monday you don't have any more money. So ain't nobody in the neighborhood investing. Ain't nobody got no investments, no CDs, no Roth, no hold on, no index funds. Only because Black people spend money doesn't mean that's a correlation of helping a bank. If you're not putting money in the bank, saving it, investing it, doing business with a bank, the bank is not benefited from us getting our hair done and buying beauty products and no. How?
Because the bank is sending the money to the hair salon, that's a Black hair salon, products to a Black person. It's the money's being recirculated and recycled. I mean, it is true.
If you ain't got no investments, your bank, if the majority of the people are not investing, I can see, Steve, if the Austin community had over 40% Black ownership in residential. We had 20% of businesses, and corner and mom and pop stores. Then a Black bank in the community. But we jumping over the rainbow right now. Don't worry about no banking right now. Worry about Black people getting infrastructure, owning things, having businesses. Then that's when the bank gonna come in, and the bank then that's when banking come in. Banking ain't nothing in the Austin area to put a bank in for Black people for. Well, nothing.
We got people.
Broke people.
Everybody got something. That's what I'm saying. You got to start with what you start with, and then you let them, and then you got to teach them the system. That's what Dr. O was saying earlier. We got to be able to teach them the system. I mean, I'm gonna give you an example. For me, as long as I've been doing business in Austin, 98% of the people I've done business with have been Black people, and they have been the bread and butter of how I've made money, whether it's through renting my apartments, whether it's through renting your facility, or what have you. Those have been where my money comes from. Yeah, I've had some Hispanic tenants. I've had some white.
So you ain't
tenants.
had no white contributors. Like, you know what? Here go a nice little. Come on now. Come on, tell it.
I said 98%.
I'm saying, okay.
There's been over the years, probably, I don't know, I probably had maybe 10, 15 white people I dealt with, and about 10, 15 Hispanic people I've dealt with, you know. But over 20 years, you know, that's 30 people, that's not really a lot out of thousands, you know. So I can't negate that the dollars aren't there. And the other thing is,
I never said that. I know we spend money.
Right, and that's what Dr. Orr said. Let's take that money and put it to our track and make that track a track that moves our people in a positive direction and move them and get them.
Yeah, right. But again, you would have to be someone like a Steve Robinson, a person who has You have a building, you have business, you know what I'm saying? You got cogs in the wheel, you got things moving. So if we have 40 more like you in the neighborhood, it will make sense for us to have our own bank at that point. But right now, it's not enough, Steve. It's not enough, DeAndre Rudicis, to justify a black bank. It just
No, but
ain't.
that's where it's going. It's actually going that way.
Well, when we get there, we'll get the bank.
We
No bank
gotta
for right now.
say the egg, the chicken or the egg. You gotta have the hen with the egg. You gotta have both. It's the both thing. Just like DeAndre was saying, oh, well, we gotta go with all the negative. Why can't we have where we came from and where we at and what we got and where we going? How come we can't have both? You know, I'm not saying.
Especially when you ain't got no like DeAndre said, they ain't got no tap to pay. You come on now, you got to be behind, and that's not up. And you know what I'm saying, that's not up to the people to talk to the politicians to get the bank to have features like tap to pay. That has nothing to do with us, especially if I ain't getting paid. I can make the tap to pay system. You know what I'm saying? If they need that, if they willing to do some business and say, hey, Mosaic, can you create the tap? I can do that.
Let me tell you why that's like that. It has nothing to do with they can't come up. They don't have the money to change their system. It has a lot to do with the people that are already banking them. I guarantee DeAndre is probably one of the younger bank.
Oh, that's for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. When I was in that one, number old people all the time.
Exactly. So they're catering to what older people typically do. And nobody, and I guarantee you, a lot of the people that's running the bank, they're like, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
So
Yeah.
okay, if you're go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say, because all I'm hearing is business opportunity and business problems, you know, because to your point, Steve, yeah, you know, the bank been doing it a certain way for a long time, but in business, it requires development and evolution at some point, like, or you gonna lose.
Right.
And, you know, so and then to Mosaic's point, what he's saying is true. A business does not build in the area where it does not see it can make a profit, whether it's a bank or otherwise. In a lot of ways, right? We keep limiting the fact that we don't have organizations or businesses that operate in the community, and largely it's because they do bad business analytics. They're not actually doing their market research to learn if their product is viable. You know, so I
right, and then we always say, like Dr. Others say, we got to re-educate. Why they not re-educating the older people on how to get this? You want to keep serving your market because it helps you. But when it kind of, we always say we got to re-educate and educate. Well, why the black bank ain't educating they black older customers on how to use this, how to use the Face ID and how to tap to pay? Again, I wouldn't want to work with a bank that's not thinking like that. Yeah, that's a bad bank.
Well, they probably did some analysis based on cost. Like, if we change to this, how much more is it going to bring us when the people are not going to change to this anyway?
That's why I go to Capital One, Steve.
Well, this is my problem with it.
They ain't never getting my money.
Well, the problem that the bank has kind of made an analysis based on young black people ain't working. And if they ain't working, they ain't getting a check. If they ain't getting how are they making money? And they can't take illegal money or whatever kind of money and put it in. I guess they could, but I mean,
they could. You could. You can get that money through now.
Yeah, but I'm saying that wouldn't be too ethical.
I can show you how to do it.
It wouldn't be too ethical. I just said that now.
But I think to the point though, we do need to do a lot of different things in the community just to create true community, right? Like it was Dr. Umar. I don't even like Dr. Umar anymore, but he had his moments. So
he's a smart guy.
No, facts. And he knows what he's talking about. He's just a shiesty, man. I don't like shiesty. So,
Scammer.
man. So, no, but he always used to say a community is made up of a school, a religious institution, a bank, and a supermarket, and he was saying like that is what a community is made up of. And when you look at different parts of the West Side, and we could just keep it to Austin if you'd like, in multiple areas, there's not that type of community connection, right? And we talked earlier about the school being bad. We don't have a bank. We have way too many religious systems, and now they moving into prosperity, and whatever else they into. And then, we are just start. Well, we got supermarkets, but would I rather go to Leamington over Jules? Meh, you know where I'm going. So
Come on, boy. Yeah, and then
saying.
because Leamingtons, they
I'm just
whoop their
saying.
chickens. I done seen whelps on the chicken. They whoop their chicken. So come on now, I'm going to Jules. They don't whoop chickens in
But
Jules.
I'm just saying, but nah, so we have so many different elements that's working against us, but we definitely, and so here's the thing that I would love to see us do, because again, there's so many different orgs working in different spaces. We need, for those that operate in the same space, we gotta come together, man. That power to work in one particular area to build one area, and then let everybody else focus on. We could literally create a plan of action for 5 years and then go out and execute. But everybody that works in their space that is similar need to come together and work in that space with the overarching goal of this is what we want to see at the end of these 5 years. Similar to matter of fact, the quality of life plan that ACT put together. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. But even then, that's kind of a little because you got to be inside, and you got to, play nice and all that. It's so
That's
I don't know.
that's the same thing I was saying about the politics. Everybody, you want the voters to play nice and do this and that, but people have lost the whole idea that when your elected official is elected, they're there to support the people, not the people to support them. It's the wrong way. It's the wrong way of thinking, and we got to get away from that.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's
for damn sure.
And that's the problem. Is like I said, the guy said to me, he said, "Well, Danny Davis, I'm going with him because whoever he picked, he didn't even have a strong feeling about that." And he says, because Danny, once the guy gets in there, Danny's gonna be able to, to work his magic with him while the guy's in there. I'm like, no, Danny needs to step away, retire, and enjoy his life. That's what he needs to do. People have been wanting that for years. Let the person that's in the seat do what they need to do. And then you get people that constantly said over years, Danny ain't done nothing. Danny ain't done nothing.
Yeah, for real.
It's like, now you want to sit there and put his hand up on somebody's back to help them do nothing? Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Black people, we don't know what we want. We don't know what we want as a people. That's all. We don't know what we want.
What I found over the years, we tend to, when we really don't know and don't do the math, we tend to find a person we're gonna go with what you say. You really? Okay. That's what you think. Some people don't want to do the math. They don't want to do the heavy lifting. And that's what they do. Follow the herd. And I think honestly, people are starting to get away from the herd. Well, they'll follow the herd, but they ain't gonna follow with the same shepherd.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, like 1 year we did not 1 year, a couple of elections. I think for 3 or 4 elections, we did research on all of the candidates as much as we could gather, right? And not just some of them, but all of them. Provided the information, had a couple of meetings for people to talk about the candidates, and people genuinely wanted us to do their own personal research for them.
Real.
They wanted us to tell them, like,
Who to
shoot,
vote
the
for?
person's right to the person's DNA, they mama, they grandma, his story. I'm like, wait a minute now. We have provided all of this information. Is not the end all be all. This is for you to look at, reference, and do your own research so you can select the candidate. And what we do a lot of times is we wait right up until the last minute and we vote for the person that's had the most publicity,
Buzz, yeah.
the most name
Mhm.
recognition, or the most buzz without really understanding what that candidate stands for, what they voted for. And we do that even all the way up until the for the circuit courts. All of that stuff, the more local the election is, the more impact it has on us in our communities.
Started
So,
changing that.
you know,
We started changing that with the judges because we started to do forms. Remember, DeAndre?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even in that, you can give them all of the information, and people still won't do their own read. They want you to tell them who to vote for.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So we gotta figure out how do or they're just what do y'all call it when people are just numb and just indifferent about whatever and nothing's gonna change. Why are we voting? We have a lot of that too in our community.
Apathetic.
Yeah, we have a lot of that in our community too. It's really challenging to navigate. I'm not yeah, it's challenging to navigate. Um yeah. It's just challenging to navigate, but you do try to provide as many resources as you possibly can for your people.
Right.
Word.
And that's the thing three folks can.
Wait, what?
Say again?
It sounded like I thought I heard somebody talking.
Yeah, I thought I did too. Anyway, about ready to wind it up, y'all. I gotta get rolling. Start around the room. Want to do that.
By the mid-90s, these Mortal Kombat hysteria had all.
Oh, that was Mosaic watching Mortal Kombat.
Violation.
Choose. Test your might. Are you about to go around, Steve? Hello? Steve? Steve?
Well,
You about to go around the room?
Go ahead, Dre.
Tiny?
Okay, I'd like to say we need to come together to end mental illness. And I don't know if I've said this before, but I went through culture shock when I went to college. I had to decide whether I wanted to be in the ghetto or be middle class. I chose being in the ghetto, but I went through a lot of changes, man. I was crazy. I was crazy, and people didn't know it, and I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know what was going on with me, you know? So mental health affects all of us. It affected me personally. It's affected my family, and I'm sure other people have had the same kind of situation. So,
right. How's your daughter doing, Tiny?
well, she's better. She's home, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Miss J, do you have anything in conclusion? You can't hear you. You're on mute, Miss Jacobs. Take the mute off. Okay.
Do you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. We got to stop backbiting, criticizing, and just throwing back what shouldn't be or could be. We need to come together and make something happen for our community. That's what I'm about. And kind of that mental health issue, we're going to have to get together and have someone to come out and speak on mental health in our community. So I'll help you work on that. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Sound like a plan. How about you, Ella? You got anything in conclusion?
No, but I just want to make a comment regarding slavery being taught in school, and the comment that we need to focus more on positive things. I feel we cannot move forward without acknowledging our past and teaching our young people about our past so that they won't allow the same thing to happen again. We have to build up some kind of resistance against stuff like that because I feel our president right now is going to send us back there before he's out of office. And I'm not going down. I'm going down fighting. I ain't going down like that. So, we have to know our past. I'm not saying dwelling on it, but we have to know it in order to move forward. That's
Right.
it.
That's true.
We're gonna make it. God brought us too far to leave us now.
All right. He ain't putting me back on no cotton field.
And the past will be tomorrow once it's done, right?
Yeah.
You gotta. It's all in relationship to where you're going. Mosaic, you had anything in conclusion?
Yeah, sometimes my message might be looked at as harsh. And one of the things we gotta go back to scripture. When you go back to scripture, I'm never harsh. I'm just honest. And one of Jesus' closest disciples was Peter, and Jesus called him the Rock, which he was very outspoken and rebuking others. I'm gonna rebuke. I am the Rock. Trump, he's the same way. We come in the spirit of the apostles, so it's like we're a little harsh, but we handle the business.
I guess you're right, because Satan was an angel too, right? That fell from heaven.
Yes, he was.
All right, Bear, you got anything in conclusion?
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. I guess not, Bear. How about you, Raheem? You've been quiet.
Yeah, I'll say something after you finish. Go ahead, Raheem.
Go ahead, Bear. You can come in.
Oh, what's up, good people? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good show tonight. I was just listening in. I guess, like, the thing about the bank, like, we've had black banks before. I don't see what I don't know. I seemed like we was talking about it like it's impossible. Like Seaway Bank was black owned for a long time.
Yep.
It's a black bank in Forest Park in that mall where I guess the church owned it, but it's still
Liberty Bank. That's why I was banking at. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's something most definitely that we could do. I don't believe like we're the biggest spenders. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't think so, but it is something that we could do. Also, what's in theory? Let's see. Tuesday we doing something at a house in Austin. So if y'all are free, come out. It's gonna be from 6 to 7:30. We're gonna be talking about vulnerability, and I heard somebody talking about mental health. So like mental illness is a big problem in the black community. So if you need any assistance putting that together, that program that you all were talking about, feel free to reach out.
You heard that, Tiny?
I heard that, and I will.
All right, for
All
sure.
right. All right.
Okay. Last but not least, Dre.
So I definitely want to back up with.
Oh, don't forget Beer. Beer.
Oh, Barry. Yeah. For sure.
Beer.
Oh, you want me to go now?
Yes.
Raheem, you're right. And Raheem, Dale King had just mentioned the Healthy Living Council again. And mentioning that because Tiny and Edie were talking about mental health too. And so the Healthy Living Council might be a good way that we can do something more about healthy living internally, physically, and externally, socially. So that's one thing. Second thing, I think the place to begin is whoever you trust and are connected to or close with, work with them to do something that you can do to make things better, whatever it is. Third, this coming Saturday, November 18th, I looked a few days ago and there were 22, was it 22? No, 20. It was, I think I counted 25 protests throughout Chicagoland for the National Day of Protests, the No Kings Day protests. And you can find the locations. There'll be one in Scoville Park in Oak Park, which is at the corner of Lake and Oak Park Avenue. And that'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's one, there's going to be a big one downtown. It's going to be all over the country. And the objective is to get to 3.5%. I pray we can do that. It would mean 12 million people coming out if we were to hit that number. And the reason 3.5% is historically, that's the figure that the civil rights movement accomplished. When that many people come out, that's when a nonviolent protest results in social change. So my hope is that we move from where we are now with this much polarization, and we come together to help each other and have the kind of thriving communities that we want. So,
what does No Kings mean? I'm confused.
You can put it in a search to find out.
No, I'm asking you because you're telling us about it. Who's a king? Like I'm confused.
I'm the king.
Yeah, I would really like to know, like, if Barry could tell me, like, what does No Kings protest mean? Because you asking like people of color to come, they like No Kings. We don't know what you talking about.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this, Tiny. I'm not sure if you really opening.
No, this is Mosaic.
If you're, I mean, that's what I meant is Mosaic. I know your voice. Mosaic, if you mean it in an open way, like you really want to know, but I'm not looking to get into a push and pull with you about it.
Yeah, I was just asking.
You know,
you can just explain it to me.
I think the No Kings is referring to Donald Trump, who wants to be king and a dictator. And when they say no kings, they don't want him.
But we don't have kings in America. This is a democracy.
That's what your president seemed to think he's going to be, is a king.
No, he's a president. This is not a monarchy.
He's a president.
He's not.
This is not a monarchy. See, that's what I'm saying.
See,
this is why blacks have never
voted in.
Mosaic,
he got voted in, buddy.
Walter, for you too. You guys just don't show up.
I'll be there.
But
I'm showing up, Barry.
We're gonna be there, Barry.
Hey, you want to be there? Be there. You don't want to be there? Whatever you decide. Hey, it's your life.
What does No Kings mean, Barry?
Check it out. Check it out. because
thing
my
is,
telling you isn't going to do any good because, and I really don't want to get into
So
a
we
tug of
can't
war
ask
with you.
questions. That's fascism. You can't act. I can't speak. That's
Okay.
I'm gonna have
fascism.
my Antifa
I'm
flag with
gonna.
me. Say,
All right,
Mary's
all
our
right,
king.
You just came back
Mary's
in.
our king.
Walter, you just came back in, so you got to be quiet. We closing out.
Oh
You got
my God.
Why I gotta be quiet?
because you leaving. You
We
came back 30 minutes after the hour.
oh my
Hey guys,
God.
I'm going to say good night to everyone. Take
All right.
care.
Why? When is this meeting we supposed to have? Can I bring my popcorn?
Walter, did you want to say anything in closing? You just came back in.
This is a beautiful day.
It was though.
And
Agreed.
there's no kings at all. There's only presidents.
Facts.
And then vote the same way, you get the same results.
And we need to stop making people more presidential by getting those types of people.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's doing a good job.
And let me see. I'm gonna go with this one over here.
What are you guys closing up?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm putting a presentation together, man. My bad. I'm just talking out loud.
And when is this No Kings parade supposed to happen?
Man, that's all over the earth.
It's at the 18th, right?
Right.
He's not a king. He's a president of the United States of America.
When you change language like that, you charge people to shoot at politicians. This type of language is dangerous. And when they're calling him a king, calling him a fascist, a dictator, that makes people radicalize online and go out and shoot people. People gotta stop calling him for what it is. Is he an asshole? Yeah, he an asshole.
That ain't gonna never change in America with all the
Hey, everybody's an asshole. Everybody has one.
and everybody got weapons in America. So what's the point? So you ain't gonna never tell people that gonna trigger a person. Everybody got 3-4 guns each. We got enough guns for every man, woman, and child in America.
I only got water guns, Steve.
Come on, but so certain things can trigger you to go out and shoot.
They don't need no trigger. They just doing it because they dumb and stupid. And we don't have that much power over nobody to make them get up.
Oh yeah, y'all do.
No, we don't. Just stop it.
I
No,
only
stop
got a
blaming
water gun.
freedom of speech for all this stuff.
Only
That's
got the
just
blitz.
stupid. That's just fake news, like your president would say.
Well, there is some lot of garbage going on in Chicago. The mayor is full of garbage.
Wait a minute.
He said that there's crime going down. Crime is going down, yeah,
I
sure,
hear
buddy.
sirens right now.
Crime is going down.
Like right now, I hear sirens in the background.
Probably.
Now I'm not
Yeah,
saying that the crime rate hasn't went down, but it's
It
like,
hasn't.
come on, bro, it's really rampant. It went down. It's incredibly high, and it went down a little bit, and you cheering about that. It's still rampant though. It's in a rampant stage. You know what I'm saying? So to see so many shootings just on Chicago Avenue, it's like you worried about the migrants, and why would you dump migrants in this condition?
Chicago and what?
I mean, on Madison, all the Madison shootings. I got
Oh
shot
yeah,
at on
over by the
Madison.
McDonald's. That McDonald's right there.
By MacArthur's. And come on, MacArthur's is a old staple. It should be no shooting right there, like. But it is.
What was I on? What was I by? Madison? Was I on Madison, Steve?
Yeah, that's what he just said, across from MacArthur.
Yeah, I was there with Steve.
Oh yeah.
He said in that
I might
area.
have to go on Cicero, Chicago and Cicero next month.
What's down there?
To when the crazies come out. Us. We're gonna have an ice raid over there.
Yeah, you can't do nothing over there but go get a leaf.
No leaf over there.
Crazy, man. I gotta go, man.
All right, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say with Raheem and Tiny, you know, speaking towards mental health. Again, I'm a person who's a recipient of Raheem's group. You know, I've been in therapy for I don't know what 2+ years now, ever since I started going to Welcome to Fatherhood. So then they got it for the free. So, you know, it's really out there if you really want to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? I still see my therapist twice a week. Used to go once a week. You know what I mean? So it's really up to you and how you want to move forward with it. You know, and
What is it? Your mentor or is it something else?
a therapist.
Oh, therapist.
Yeah, I see a therapist every 2 weeks.
Okay. Are you part of the 15th district, the police thing?
No. But I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it's available. And then another thing is, I definitely I'm working on getting 2 therapists at the Ruder Center. One, they're black male, black female. One, the guy is gonna offer walk-in ability, and then the female has her own business, and she's going to, you know, try to expand and bring in people from the local community too. So we working on that amongst a whole lot of other stuff. And then the last thing I want to say is on the 18th, I'm doing a gun violence or violence awareness conversation, if you will. So I'm gonna be right outside in the front, right on the hot block of Madison, where I'm you know, and we're gonna reach out to the community. So, you know, if y'all want to
What
pop
about
in, noon to 3, we're gonna be right in the front.
what about gun
That's the
safety?
18th as well. The 18th as well. I'm gonna be right in front. I'm gonna bring the speakers out. We're gonna set the table up, and then we got Ruby and them from Tap Roots coming. They gonna talk about restorative justice and peace circles and all that. But otherwise, we're gonna do it like a podcast, but we're gonna do it right on the street, and we're gonna talk openly and out loud about violence in our community. And as people pass by, I'm gonna pull them in, like, hey, come have a conversation with us. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Why is it more rampant over there?
I don't know, guns, drugs, you know, just a general way of life and culture. But you know, we gotta stop having these conversations behind doors and
Well, but
online
we have
and be
guns over
outside,
here.
man.
We
Huh?
have guns over here and drugs.
Yeah, but y'all, you know, y'all different. You know what I'm saying?
How are you
Y'all
different?
different. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say, y'all. I wanted to say in closing, you know, like I always say, they didn't want to give us a seat at the table, so we created our own. We got open seats, and we just trying to welcome y'all home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Y'all have a good night.
One other thing, don't forget this Tuesday, Miss Drummond's birthday at the.
Oh dang, that's what's up.
Yeah, she'll be 104. Yeah.
Miss
Yeah.
Drummond.
And that's at 12 o'clock over at the senior building, Leamington and Congress Parkway. So
nice.
Be there, be square.
For sure. All right, y'all.
Good night.
Peace. Have a good night.
God bless everybody.
Good night.
Bye,
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Take it easy.